Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the, equipment and discuss a little bit the performance of the blue UI Goku. So we have an Ultra Instinct Legends Limited Goku. I was lucky enough to get him in my summons. If you watched the summons video, you would have seen me pick him up pretty early and still get some pretty good units afterwards. Now, Goku is a simple yet very effective unit. See a lot of people saying he's in the top 4 or 5 right now, and I think that's probably the case. I think he's definitely in the top 5, in the top 4, probably in the top 3 for me. There are some weaknesses to his kit, but that's fine. I think every unit should have a weakness. Like, if every unit's good at everything or feels absolutely broken, that's why we end up with really weird, overtly super broken mechanics being introduced to counter the other super broken mechanics, which just kind of makes everything a mess, so it's not really so fun. Now, in terms of blue UI Goku, he's got 2 states. He has his Ultra Instinct Sign Goku state. So in this state he has his main ability, which will enable him to transform. So he'll gain health, he'll get ki, he'll get unique gauge up, his damage will go up, and then he'll transform into MUI Goku. In UI Goku form, he has 280% damage, 175% guard, ki recovery of 70%, draw speed of 1, endurance of 30%, extra recovery, all uncancelable. Then his second passive, a realm deeper than instinct. He will draw 1 card if his hand has 3 or fewer when he enters the battlefield. Ki plus 40, unique gauge up, nullify special cover change, nullify abnormal conditions, remove card slot seal, destroy 1 enemy card. And then based on the amount of times that he performs a strike or blast arts card, he'll increase his damage and also their cost. And then based on the enemy strike activation, enemy strike arts cost will go up, and also his health will go up and the enemy ki will go down. So he does have some decent combo protection. Decent, but we'll talk about that. When on the battlefield, based on the enemy's blast arts activation, the same will occur. And then when on the battlefield, based on the enemy's special move activation, he will get extra health back and nullify the received elemental disadvantage. So he does have some counter combo mechanisms, but his big issue that he has is against 1 or 2 specific units. We'll talk about that just now. His unique gauge in his base is evade type A, so basically he will just automatically evade attacks when he has 30% or less unique gauge, tap action, strike arts, and blast arts, which is pretty cool. It recovers gradually when on standby, and will be consumed gradually while he's on the field. His Z ability is Universe Rep, Sun Family, and God Ki. And he will increase his damage and blast damage with every attack he performs. His green card restores his health, draws a card, gives him ki, gives him unique gauge, gives him damage, and cancels attribute downgrades. And then his special is just a standard special boost up. Pretty decent stuff. He's basically your standard UI Sign Goku in his base form. A good one that does some decent damage, of course, and has some decent combo mitigation. But he's your standard UI Goku. Then he kind of beefs up. So then he transforms, it turns into Ultra Instinct Goku. So not Ultra Instinct Sign, not MUI as we call it generally, but it's Ultra Instinct Goku. And you'll draw a special move arts card next, health of plus 35%, ki of 50, unique gauge up of 100%, and vanishing gauge up 100% on his main ability. So that's very, very good. If there's a defeated battle member, he'll nullify elemental type disadvantage as well on his main ability, which is big. So just basically big health up, big ki up, big unique gauge up, big everything up on his new main ability once he transforms. When he transforms, he will get 15% extra health, ki plus 40, unique gauge up, nullify special cover change up, protecting his ki as well for 10-time accounts, which is very important. Nullify abnormal conditions, remove card slot seal, and destroy enemies cards as well. And then when there's a defeated battle member, he'll get a unique gauge up of 70% and 40% up as well. So very, very good for him. So basically the transformation gets a lot of boosts when you have a defeated battle member. Usually I would say you only want to use it after someone's been defeated, just generally. Then on his strike and arts blast use, basically he gets a big increase to his ki, his unique gauge, If the enemy switches, he gets unique gauge up. When hit by enemies' cards, they take less ki, they get increased card cost, and then if they use a special move, he nullifies damage received. Elemental disadvantage will remove the enemy's art's power by 30% and give himself 20% health, so he has decent special protection. When he says art, nullify damage received element disadvantage, so he will nullify green to being type neutral. But what is super important is that he doesn't have anything except for his stacking debuffs against your enemy's ki. So as a character, the big issue he faces, and what a lot of people are noticing, is that there is, if you look for example at green, Vegito, you're seeing being very popular right now, because green Vegito has a huge boost against Goku, because yes, he has his type advantage as well in his normal attacks. Remember, Goku's nullification is against specials, but then also basically what is super important as well is that Vegito has the ability to combo very, very nicely with ki management, and he reduces his ki costs, he gives himself additional ki gain, so he can kind of almost infinitely combo Goku down, and if he gets Goku into a combo, he can really counter him quite badly, and without needing to end it with a special move, which is a thing. Goku does, however, have evade type B, which is very often where you'll see players kind of jump around each other. So that's the classic Goku UI standoff, where everyone just sort of stands still, waiting for the other players to react. And that happens. That is like that's the thing. So it'll tap talk, strike arts, blast cards. Basically, people can't hit you with standard attacks because you will automatically evade and then counter them. The big thing with the counter is it doesn't actually net you an opening, so you do have to still create an opening afterwards, but it prevents really the enemy from making a big play on you, which is good. It's the caution it causes your enemy when you enter the battlefield, that hesitation, and the fact that they're only willing to either use specials or to set you up with like catch maneuvers, means that you have the advantage. It can also lead to standoffs where two people are using UI Goku and then just throw key blasts at each other until their meter runs out. So that's also something that's maybe not what I would consider being too lovely. But yeah, overall, Goku looks really, really good. Look, I think whenever you talk about a UI character, whether that's a UI Sign or a MUI Goku, the passive play conversation is something that's always going to happen, because the way they design the mechanic, the core mechanic that all the UI Gokus have, is it punishes players for making openings on you so that they don't get openings. So, players naturally have to step off, try and create an opening elsewhere, try and cause you to make a mistake, so it does lead to passive play. And it's just one of those things that's unfortunate, but it's a core component of MUI Goku. Look, equipment-wise, you can see that on the screen. His equipment's pretty good. That's pretty interchangeable depending on what team you're running, but I would say the golds are probably ones I'd run on almost any team. That's 3 times Kaioken, just gives a lot of strike. I think it gives 37.5% strike in total and special move damage, both crucial core damage components of Goku. And then if I look at that Jiren, that explosive clash, that Jiren and Goku, same thing. It just gives a lot of strike. At least you can get it to give a lot of strike, like 24%. It also gives key recovery. You don't need to use it. There are other alternatives out there. There's a new one from the event. It gives strike and it gives blast as well, which is great. It also gives defense. I like the key recovery personally because it helps you combo in with MUI Goku, but it's just going to depend. There's also just the flat unique for a ton of strike where you can get like 45% strike, so that's also great. There's also there's plenty of decent equips for Goku. I will say I think personally for me these are probably the ones I like the most, but it's just going to depend on what you're really kind of running with. Goku is a melee type, but it's not like he's a melee type to the point of being overtly only a melee type. Like if you gave him extra blast attack, it's not the end of the world. I just personally would, obviously mention mainly focusing on melee, just in general. The boost units you'll also see on screen. So these are traditionally boost options for you to Zenkai boost Goku. A lot of them are just blue Saiyans or blue God Ki. Android 18, which is what I'm using on this team, is a universal rep boost, so that's pretty cool. Look, you don't have to Zenkai boost units, but it's always nice to just show options for Zenkai boosting, especially depending on what team you want to run and how you want to run things. I think something that's very important overall, at least for me, when I'm building my teams, is considering what Zenkai boosts are and where to go with them. I think for me as well, if I look at everything, I do think that there is a very strong case for Goku to be probably one of the easier units to build a team for. There's been a blue Super Saiyan, blue Saiyans kind of team build floating around for a while, and I think Goku can fit into that quite easily. I think Reps has some really good blue units. I will say the problem right now I'm having with Goku is when trying to stack blue builds, like I said, Vegito and certain greens are still prevalent. Vegito as a green is still prevalent. SS2, SS3 Goku green is still prevalent. God Goku is still prevalent as a green. There's Ultra Gohan as green. And we don't have like the biggest array of purples if you don't have Vegeta. So just consider that. But otherwise, Goku's great. Yeah, awesome guy.